Hi, this is davidji. So you and I, are hardwired and have been for over 10,000 years with this self-preservation mechanism known as fight-flight. It's woven into our DNA. It's woven into our physiology. It's woven into our chemical and hormonal construct. And it's based on, we go way, way, way back. You're walking through the forest 10,000 years ago, and suddenly you hear, that's the sound of a saber-toothed tiger, obviously. In less than 5 seconds, your autonomic nervous system kicks into a sympathetic response mechanism to make sure that you will survive whatever that threat to your physiology is. Think about that. Whenever our autonomic nervous system senses a threat to our flesh, to the physiology, it jumps into high gear. First thing that happens is we start to perspire. This is because the mind body, the autonomic nervous system, knows that we're going to overheat, either fighting this threat or running away from it. And in that moment, poof, we start to perspire because that's the only way our bodies have to cool themselves down. So in advance, we know we're going to overheat. Then we start to breathe more rapidly and shallowly. This makes the blood start flowing. So our heartbeat starts to race. Maybe it moves from 70 to 115 beats to 145 beats to 175 beats a minute. And when that's happening, we're not trying to go deep with our breaths. We're actually being driven by this response mechanism to just keep breathing as rapidly as possible so the blood is flowing as quickly as possible through our body. In that process, the blood moves away from the brain, moves away from our digestive system, and concentrates itself in our extremities, in our arms and in our thighs. As our heart begins to race a little bit more, our fine motor abilities move away from us. That's why they say when soldiers or people in law enforcement, when they suddenly get into this fight-flight mode, they're not able to load a bullet into their gun. They're not able to do anything that's fine motor related. And that's why in a lot of the work that I do with members of the military and law enforcement, we teach them to lower their heart rate because that will allow their fine motor skills to kick back in. Also, what happens is our peripheral vision suddenly shrinks because this is a survival mechanism, and hormonally and chemically, our brain is saying to us, you need to focus on this one thing, not anything else. Of course, we're not making the best decisions, but if there's a threat right there, we're going to either fight it or run away from it. So our breathing is becoming more rapid. The blood is flowing away from the core areas of our existence. Our heartbeat is racing, our blood pressure is racing. And then once we're in that state, the autonomic nervous system says, let's shut down everything not related to this particular threat. So that's why our peripheral vision goes, because we don't need to see what's out there. We need to see what's going on right in front of us. It's a very, very powerful physiological shift that occurs inside of us. We also stop hearing sounds. What happens is our five senses start shutting down to only be the relevant sense in that moment. So probably we would not taste anything or smell anything. We'd be zoning into seeing this thing, and that's going to allow us to not hear other conversations outside of us. We might not even hear a conversation that says, oh, don't worry, that saber-toothed tiger is moving away. Pretty intense if you think about it. We suddenly zone in, tunnel vision, in this process. So then the autonomic nervous system says, okay, what can we shut down? So let's shut down our growth hormones. We don't really need to be thinking or working on cellular development here. Shut it down. Let's shut down our sex hormones. Clearly, we don't need to be thinking about sex in this moment. Let's shut it down. And we don't need to be fighting germs. You know, our immune system is really, really vast throughout our body. If we can like shut that out, that'll allow us to put much more attention on other aspects of our physiology. So we actually shut down our immune system, or at least repress it. And then the autonomic nervous system says, okay, enough non-essential response mechanisms are shut down. Now let's elevate those that are critical to this moment. Let's elevate our cortisol. Let's elevate our glucagon, which is like eating 5 Snickers bars at once, surging sugar into our body. Let's elevate everything that's going to make us epinephrine, norepinephrine, adrenaline. Let's surge that into the physiology so that we are going to put 100% of our resources towards fighting or running away from this threat. And now you're set. Oh, but wait, one more. Your mind body knows that you could be cut in this altercation. So you begin clotting in advance. That's right. The platelets, the hard parts of your blood that flow through the plasma, become plump and sticky. And now you're ready to go, ready to fight or run away. Oh, by the way, this all happens in under 5 seconds and will stay with you for up to 18 hours. Think about that. Just sensing a threat, just hearing the sound of a saber-toothed tiger. Well, think of all the things you consider threats to your own physiology. Hear gunshots, right? Someone yells at you that you don't know. It's a horrifying situation. Someone you don't know what the rules are. Suddenly we go back to Maslow's hierarchy, and like safety and security not being met here. Let me amp it up because I might have to fight this or run away from this. And these are the types of things that we experience in our modern times. You know, there are no saber-toothed tigers here, and most of us aren't walking through the jungle on a consistent basis. But, you know, we do have threats of viruses. We do have threats of terrorism. We do have active shooter drills. We do have, you know, we're living in a society where we're not necessarily being directly impacted with a threat, but it's suddenly around us. And so we are being triggered all the time. You know, you're driving in your car and someone cuts you off. In that moment, there was a threat to the physiology, and suddenly you jammed on the brakes, started to perspire, shut down your immune system, surged sugar into your body, thickened your platelets, and then the person drives away, and your heart could still continue to race for the next 20 minutes while you drive to work. In fact, your heart could continue to race for the next 18 hours, unless you have some tools such as 16 seconds or some other tool to help you in that moment. So we know that we can adjust our heart rate through our breathing. And so one of the things I do recommend to you is that 16-second technique. Now 16 seconds is not just a breathing technique, it's also a witnessing technique. So let's just do it right here. We'll do it with our eyes open, but as you breathe in through your nose, you're going to watch that breath actually come into you and watch that breath as it goes down into your belly. All right, and when it gets there, you're going to hold it and watch it. Hold it and witness it. Hold it and continue to observe it. And then release it, watching it, watching it, watching it, watching it, watching it as it flows out. And then be holding that breath out as you watch it and witness it. Now we know the breath is invisible, but we know that we can still put our attention on that thing. So let's do it together. Long, slow, deep breath in through your nose as you watch it. It's down into the belly. That took about 4 seconds. Now let's hold it there and hold it a little more as we watch it. We're really watching our belly. We're watching that breath being held in our belly, and then we release it, observe it as it moves up. Keep watching it, keep witnessing it as it moves through your throat and then out through your mouth or nose. Keep watching it, keep watching it, keep witnessing it. Now exhale, hold that breath out, and watch that breath as it dissipates into the ether. And now breathe normally. So just by practicing the 16-second technique where we are actually watching the breath, and it works more effectively with your eyes closed, and if you do it 4 times, that's a minute. But you can move yourself from a state of fight, flight. You can move yourself from this suddenly rushing hormonal and chemical explosion inside of you to easing it down. And you can actually move back into a state of restful awareness. So we know the body and the brain. We know how they all work together, hormonally and chemically. And you have the tools to make that happen. Keep meditating.